leave Zoom. If you leave, you can't join again. As I was saying, you have to stick around until the end. Within these 2 hours, Nangis and Mallis, your Javed sir is going to teach you all of the lit techniques that you need to know. A lot of new pupils or pupils who are hoping to do English lit for their A-levels, okay? I'm not talking only about the O-level pupils, even though this is an O-level seminar. Relax, relax. This is an Not only is this an O-level seminar, but the A-level pupils can also benefit out of this. The reason is that everyone needs the techniques. Everyone needs to know lit techniques, right? There we go. The 100 mark has been reached. Thanks again for helping Javed sir reach the Yep. Zoom is malfunctioning for some reason, okay? Not a very lucky day for your Javed. So that's all right. That's all right. I'm still here. I'll give you guys the best rendition of the subject that I can humanly possibly give you. Let me quickly grab, give me a second. Let me quickly grab the, what is it? Give me a moment. Oh yeah, the stream link. Here we go. All right, so here's the stream link. Let me share it with you guys. So let's say you leave in the middle. Nothing to worry. You can watch the recording. You can watch the live stream on YouTube, okay? I hope the YouTube link works. Let me double check this. Boom. Yes, it does. All right. Shall spotlight my video for everyone. Also, thanks for reminding me, Abdul, and we can jump right in now. Okay, all right. Perfect. Let me check the Zoom link, the YouTube link one more time. And yes, it works. It works perfectly. So let's jump into our session, baby. Right now, we are at the moment talking about lit techniques and why exactly do you need lit techniques. It's kind of like the foundation of the subject. If you don't know lit techniques, if you can't understand how basic lit techniques work, it's kind of difficult for you to move forward with literature. So you guys have to remember that you have to understand the foundation before you actually start learning the syllabus. The syllabus is not that difficult, by the way. The syllabus is not that complicated because you only have 20 poems, 4 short stories or 4 prose, 2 dramas and 3 novels. You don't even have to learn all 3 novels. You only need one of the 3 novels. By the way, I hope I'm recording. Give me a second. Yeah, I am recording. As I was saying one more time, 20 poems, 4 short stories, and of course there are 3 novels, 2 dramas. It's a simple syllabus to learn. However, the syllabus is going to feel kind of difficult if you are unable to process the techniques. So there are new pupils here who will definitely benefit out of this. If you are a veteran pupil, if you are already a master of literature, I'm sure that this session will open your eyes regarding lit techniques. So everyone has something to learn from this session. Even if you are an A-level pupil, it doesn't matter. You still need to learn lit techniques. That being said, let's jump into our session. I have the presentation ready for you guys. I worked very hard on making a presentation for you. And boom, here we go. We're talking about lit techniques. So, Subha Muhote, Subha Nakate, Lahi Lahi. Let me start by sharing my screen. Oh, forgot to mention, a new year is on the way, right? So why don't we start the new year working hard? Why don't we get ahead of the others? Because right now, I'm very sure there might be thousands of pupils out there who are supposed to do their O-levels in a few months, a few years. And they're out there having fun. They're out there partying and going on trips. But you guys are here working for your future. And that is exactly what makes me work hard. That is exactly what makes me passionate, because my pupils are hardworking people. It doesn't matter if you join my classes regularly, or it does not matter if you are a new pupil. If you are here, you're a hardworking person. And that means I have to work hard as you guys. Hardworking pupils like you deserve hardworking educators, baby. And that is what Isaac.com is all about. Let me start sharing the screen. Here we go. Boom. And here is the presentation that we are going to talk about. Okay, this is all about lit techniques. We're talking about metaphors in the beginning. So what exactly is a metaphor? Everyone, I'm sure, has heard of the word metaphors. It is a basic technique, and to be honest, it is a visual technique. Metaphors are. And what's going on, Mahathir? Glad you're here, Nangi. Visual technique a metaphor is, in the sense when you read it, it is supposed to stimulate your vision. Hope that makes sense. Okay, there are 4 kinds of metaphors actually. Let me also mention a small extra note right here. It is a visual technique. Visual technique. Give me a second. There we go. Boom. What do you mean by visual technique? It actually helps you imagine something. It helps you visualize something, very obviously. So metaphors are visual techniques. So what exactly is a metaphor? It is when you compare 2 nouns directly. Remember that, okay? It is a direct comparison of 2 nouns. And most of the time, or to be honest, all of the time, metaphors are fake. They are not meant to be taken literally. Hope you understand that, okay? You guys can make a small note of this if you want to. Metaphors are visual techniques, and most of the time, they are fake. They are not to be taken literally. They are not to be taken literally. Hope you understand that, okay? That is what literature is about. You can't take things literally. You look at the allegorical, symbolical, or metaphorical value of the syllabus. So again, not to be taken literally, or not to be taken seriously. That is what a metaphor is, all right? You take 2 nouns and you compare them directly, and then you are visualizing something fake. That is a metaphor, by the way. Let me give you guys an example, really simple. There are 3 kinds of metaphors. Actually, there are 4 kinds of metaphors, not 3 kinds of metaphors. And if you guys don't know, you can write this down also. A metaphor is a direct comparison of 2 nouns. Not only that, metaphors are fake. Every single metaphor out there is fake. You cannot take the metaphor seriously. You cannot take the metaphor's meaning literally. So now that we have gotten a good idea about what metaphors are, I want to show you guys examples from our syllabus where metaphors are used. Now, that is why Javed sir is the best literature teacher out there for you guys, because I 100% focus on the syllabus. Even though I give you real life examples for literature, my job again is to teach you guys the syllabus, and we are pulling out of the syllabus mainly. So right now we're talking about metaphors, and you guys should know that metaphors are a comparison of 2 nouns, and they visualize something fake. Metaphors are always fake. Hope you understand that, okay? So as I was saying, there are 4 kinds of metaphors, not 3 kinds. There are 4 kinds of metaphors. This is type number 1. When we compare 2 nouns directly, and then we compare, it's a lot more complicated. I'll make this easier. You can take noun dash noun. Noun noun is noun. Much better. There are 4 kinds of metaphors. The first kind is noun is noun. I'm making it more easier for you guys, okay? My job is to make your life easier. My job is to make your education a lot more impactful. It's noun is noun. Then we have noun of noun, and finally we have noun dash noun. We have noun dash noun, and we have a special kind of metaphor, right? And that is adjective noun. There's another kind of metaphor also. I'll give you guys examples, by the way, don't worry. Javed sir is here with all of the tools, and 99% of the tools is in my head. So I can give you guys a clean explanation of what metaphors are. So remember, you take 2 nouns and you compare them directly. How do you compare the nouns, though? Compare again means that you are saying that one thing is same to another thing. One thing not looks like one thing, and another thing is the same thing. That is what you mean by comparing. The opposite of comparing is called contrasting. However, metaphors are comparisons. You are saying that one thing is the same as something else. So there are 4 kinds of metaphors. We have noun is noun, we have noun of noun, we have noun dash noun, and then we have adjective. Adjective that is made out of a noun, by the way. We've got adjective that is made out of a noun. Adjective made out of a noun plus noun. All right. We have adjective made out of a noun plus noun. Hope you understand these parts. I'll give you guys an example. You guys know Javed's favorite example is Fatima is an angel. That is a metaphor. Isn't Fatima a noun, Nangis? Fatima is a noun. Angel is also a noun, right? So when I say that Fatima is an angel, what can you guys visualize about Fatima? You visualize that she is beautiful, she is kind, she is elegant, she is modest, right? You guys know what angels are, by the way, right? Now, if I say that Fatima's mother is a Hitler, it's another metaphor, right? You can imagine what kind of a mum Fatima's mum is. You say that Fatima's brother is a donkey. Yes, you can visualize what kind of a person Fatima's brother is. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so again, it is all about understanding the fundamentals of these techniques. I've seen hundreds of teachers, and a lot of teachers, they think that they can teach literature. That's not the case. I've seen science teachers, commerce teachers, they are after A-level girls, right? Old women teach literature. The problem is no one thinks about the fundamentals of the subject. No one can explain what the subject is, and no one cares about the subject. Everyone talks about metaphors. No one talks about what metaphors are, right? Can we ask questions? Of course you can, Nangi. You can ask questions while in the session, okay? You can use the chat and ask me questions, by the way. No issue at all, okay? The chat is open for you guys, by the way. So here we go. Angel is a noun, isn't it? Angel is a noun and Fatima is also a noun. You guys can note this down if you... Fatima is a and is a noun. Not fake. Religious creatures, you can't find them in real life. That's why Fatima is an angel, is a metaphor. Isn't it fake though? It's fake, right? If I say that Fatima Oh, crap. Thanks for your patience, by the way. Man, there was a network problem. Can you believe that? I mean, I never lag, by the way. I've got goddamn fiber at home. Out of all of the days, and look how unlucky I am, by the way. I always talk about these things, but whenever I try something good, my God, shit hits the ceiling, dude. Kannur, Aswa, that's what happened. So I hope that it's still streaming though. I hope it's still, it's recording. It's still recording. I hope also that it's still streaming. I'm not very sure. Yeah, it is still streaming, by the way. Thanks again for your patience. Okay, I had a bloody network problem and I had to go to the app and get more data. Crazy. What's going on again, guys? Glad that all of you guys, yeah, true story, right, Mahadi? Are really crazy. Because whenever I try to do something valuable, oh, there we go. Because I never lag, by the way. I absolutely never lag at all. I never have network problems. To be honest, my network is bloody fast. But today, I don't know, man. Network is not, it was not kind. Network completely cut off, to be honest. All right, let's get back to the session. Okay, Javed never gives up. And again, I'm happy that you guys didn't give up also, that you guys are still here, right? Exactly, Fatima. That's crazy, Rahmat. Seriously. I usually don't have any network problems. And I can show you guys also, like, true story. My network is really fast, man. It's like 200 megabytes per second. But the problem today is that I ran out of data. And when I try to add more data, it's like 300, almost 300, dude. That's crazy, right? But when I tried to add more data, it was not allowing me to, which is so unfortunate. But Javed sir never gives up. Let's jump into our session again. So here's the deal. Remember, Fatima is an angel is a metaphor, by the way. Why is it a metaphor? Because you have two nouns and you compare those two nouns directly and it's fake because Fatima is not really an angel. That is a metaphor. Can you believe that? Noun of noun. How about this? How about this? How about this? How about bottle of love? How about bottle of love? That is a metaphor. There is no such thing called a bottle of love, right? That is a metaphor because bottle is a noun and love is also a noun. True, right? Love is a noun, right? If you think about it in this example, love is considered to be a noun. Bottle of love is a metaphor. Another example, when we have two nouns connected through a hyphen like this, that also creates a metaphor. And that kind of metaphor, I could give you an in-syllabus example. I want to think of an out-of-syllabus example for this. How about this? How about this? I'll give you an in-syllabus example, mountain walls. Mountain walls is an in-syllabus example for a metaphor. Can you believe that? Now, for example, you guys might have read The Eagle. You might be masters of The Eagle. It is the first ever poem that you guys learn. Alfred Lord Tennyson, 2-stanza poem, AAA rhyming scheme, fragment of a poem, by the way, right? Regardless, mountain walls, in fact, is a metaphor because we take two nouns and we compare them directly. Mountain is a noun, walls is a noun. However, is it real or fake? Nangis, it's absolutely fake. There's no such thing called mountain walls. You can't make a mountain out of walls and you can't turn a mountain into a wall. It is merely a visualization. It is fake. That's why it's a metaphor. Another example for a metaphor is when you take a adjective made out of a noun and you add that to another noun. Here's the best example, okay? Golden heart. Golden heart. That is a metaphor because if you think about it, golden is an adjective, but it is made out of the noun gold, right? There's a noun called gold. You make the adjective golden out of the noun gold, so golden heart is a metaphor. So these are the 4 kinds of metaphors you have in your syllabus. Not in your syllabus. These are the 4 kinds of metaphors you have in the subject. It does not matter what kind of literature you learn, O-level, A-level, diplomas, HNDs, university level, does not matter. These are the 4 kinds of metaphors that you can get. I will be looking into poems, Anisha. I won't explain one poem today. We'll be looking inside poems. We'll be taking examples from the poems, by the way. Let's move forward. So here is the first example for a metaphor right now. Here's, I believe this is, yeah, Bottle of life. That's a metaphor, right? Because there is no such thing called a bottle of life. If you guys can give me your own metaphors, I'll read it out. Give me your own metaphors. Send me whatever you want. Javed sir is a cool teacher. I would love to read your metaphors. Send me corrupted, creative metaphors through the chat. Would love to read them, Nangis and Mallis. Bottle of confusion. Javed sir is the king. I love it. I love it. That's a metaphor indeed. Thanks a lot, Rahma. It's always an honor to be called your teacher. Regardless, I'm sure you guys have a good understanding of what metaphors are right now. There is another example for a metaphor. This is a first kind. This is the, what is it? One noun is equal to another noun kind of a metaphor, right? For example, Fatima is an angel. Javed sir is a king of literature. Fatima's mama is a Hitler. Those are metaphors. So time is money is also a metaphor. And yes, we'll have our grade 11 class at about 9 o'clock today. Join the grade 11 class at about 9 o'clock. I'm going to move forward. Regardless, piece of shit is not a metaphor because it's real, right? Now, why is piece of shit not a metaphor? Because there can be a piece of shit, right? But if you call someone a piece of shit, let's say you've got this, you have this useless guy next door called Anwar Hajiar, and you say Anwar Hajiar is a piece of shit. That's a metaphor. Do you understand that? Piece of shit can't be a metaphor because there can be a piece of shit. But holy shit is a kind of, it's not exactly a metaphor, holy shit, but you get the point, right? If you call a person a piece of shit, then that is a metaphor. So you have to have two nouns, by the way. You have to get two nouns and compare them directly. Only then will that be a metaphor. Azure world is a metaphor for the sky. You're right, Zahra. Azure world is a metaphor for the sky in the eagle. Even though azure is an adjective and world is a noun, azure world is directly connected to the sky. It's a direct comparison. So yes, that is a metaphor indeed. Got a neighbor called Anwar. That is, yeah, all right. That's very interesting, Arham. Even I have a neighbor called Anwar. He glittered when he walked is not a metaphor because there are no two nouns in that example, Zahir. He glittered when he walked is a hyperbolic statement, not a metaphor. Hope you understand that. You have to have two nouns compared together. Two nouns have to be directly compared together to call it a metaphor. The house is a haven or the house is heaven. You're right. That is a metaphor. War is kind is not a metaphor because kind is an adjective. It's not a noun, right? War is kind is an oxymoron. It is not a metaphor. We'll talk about all of these techniques. Wrinkled sea is not a metaphor. It can be. It can be a sea of wrinkles. You're right. Wrinkled sea, Amina is a metaphor. You're right. You're right. Absolutely. That is very ironic, Abdullah. Heart of gold is a metaphor, by the way. Hikmah, absolutely. Time is gold. You're right. Amna, that is also a metaphor. Torch of love is a metaphor. We found that in To the Evening Star. Absolutely. Grave of dreams, that is a metaphor. Well done, Zahir. That is found in a bird car. That is found in I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Knowledge is power, or knowledge is a compass. Why not? That is a metaphor. And time is gold. You guys are right. And then life is a highway. I love it. I love it. You guys have a good understanding regarding a metaphor. White nigger is an oxymoron, not a metaphor. White nigger is an oxymoron, not a metaphor. The sun burns is not a metaphor at all. You can get burned by the sun. It can't be a metaphor. Life is a roller coaster is a metaphor. Absolutely. Vendor of sweets is not a metaphor because he really sells sweets, right? Do you understand that metaphors must be fake? I'll give you guys that note also. Metaphors must be fake. Now, for example, bottle of water is not a metaphor, but then bottle of liquid love is a metaphor, right? Do you understand the difference? It must be fake. Fatima is not really an angel. The metaphor, the fur inside the metaphor will remind you that all metaphors must be fake. Let's move forward. So now you guys know what metaphors are. Here are some in-syllabus examples for metaphors. Azure world is a metaphor because azure world is compared directly to the sky. The sky is not a world, right? It's fake. The sky is a noun, world is a noun. Azure world is a metaphor. Where have we seen azure world before this, Nangis? We've seen it in the eagle, right? The eagle in the sky The sky in the eagle is compared to an azure world. That's why it's a metaphor. Old is gold. That's a metaphor. You're right, Amina. Old is gold is a metaphor because old is a noun. No, old is not a noun, but it is taken. Old is gold. Yeah, it is kind of like a noun. When I say old, I'm not talking about the adjective old. I'm talking about things that are old, right? So old is gold is technically a metaphor because old does not talk about an adjective in that example. What I mean is things that are old are gold. That's correct. I agree. I agree. Heart of gold is a metaphor. Absolutely. Tears of gold, why not? Tears of gold is a metaphor. Absolutely love it. How about this? Silver dew. Silver dew is a metaphor, right? We find it in To the Evening Star. That is another metaphor in our syllabus. How about this? How about this? We have mountain walls, right? Mountain walls in the eagle. Is that not a metaphor? Mountain is a noun. Walls is a noun. Mountain walls is a noun because it is fake. There is no such thing called mountain walls. Two's company is not a metaphor because two people can make a company, right? When two people get together, they can become a company. They can keep each other company. So that is not a metaphor, actually. The melting pot. No, that is not a metaphor, though, right? How can a melting pot be a metaphor? How about pot of truth, pot of truth? That can be a metaphor. So you have to look at the structure of metaphors. Take a look at this. Take a gander at this, Nangis. There are only 4 types of metaphors. We have noun is noun. Then we have noun of noun. We have noun dash noun. And finally, we have adjective and noun. If you guys want, I can give you guys an example of one metaphor written under all 4 formats. Can you believe that? I can give you guys one metaphor written under all 4 formats. Here's the format of the metaphor. Here we go, format. And here is the example. Now, the best example I can tell you guys is noun of adjective, right? Noun made out of an adjective. And now, one moment. Adjective made out of a noun. Apologies. Adjective. Adjective slash noun. Right now, for example, we can say golden heart. We can say golden. Give me a second. Golden heart. All right. Let's say that you want it to be noun dash noun. You can use the exact same example. Noun dash noun. You can say gold heart. Gold heart. That makes perfect sense. Gold is a noun, by the way, and gold heart can be a metaphor, right? Because there is no such thing called a gold heart. We can take the other example, noun of noun. We can say gold, heart of gold, heart of gold. That is also a metaphor, right? Heart of gold is also a metaphor. We can say noun. We can take the example of noun is noun. Hopefully you guys can see the screen clearly. Let me increase the font size real quickly for you guys. Give me a second. Perfect. If you guys want to, you can screenshot this or you can write this down. Here's the format of the metaphor. How many formats do you have? You only have 4 different kinds of formats of metaphors. Yes, we have one example, but I have rewritten the example under the 4 formats. Can you believe that, Nangis and Mallis? Silence is gold. That is a metaphor. Neighbor is a devil. That is a metaphor. And then night owl, yes, that's a metaphor because you can say that my sister is a night owl, right? So she's not really a night owl. Absolutely, Zainab, that is a metaphor. And what's going on, Amina? One girl, Ami, you are. Custard is happiness in a bowl. That's genius. That's genius, Netmi. You got it. So do you understand? When you pull out examples from real life, you could learn literature a lot more easily. It is not complicated at all. And you easily remember if you pull out examples from real life. Hopefully you guys will start learning literature like this from now on. Noun is noun. How about this? My heart is gold. That is correct, right? My heart is gold. Do you understand? It is the same metaphor written and rewritten according to the 4 formats. I promise you, there are no more formats. There are only 4 formats of metaphors. You take one noun and compare it with another noun, and for that you use a lot of methods. There are 4 main methods that you guys use to create metaphors. He has a heart of stone. That is a metaphor. Palace of gold. That's a metaphor. Early bird is a metaphor. Food is life. Hell yes, you're right. You're right. That is a metaphor. Well done, Rifki. And then we have, she is a walking dictionary. I love it. That is a metaphor. Walking dictionary. She is a pronoun. A dictionary is a noun. Absolutely. They are metaphors indeed. Can you send me the YouTube link? Of course I can, Nangi. Here we go. Here is the YouTube link, by the way. Give me a second. How do I send you guys the YouTube link? I hope I have it. Give me a second. I hope I have it, by the way. Let me grab the YouTube link for you guys real quickly, okay? Of course, I can send you guys the YouTube link. Will take only a second. So now that you guys know what metaphors are, let's talk about similes once we go through all of the examples, okay? So how about this? Mouth of death is a metaphor, right? It is a metaphor because mouth is a noun and death is also a noun. So mouth of death is a metaphor in this case. And then we have Azure World. We talked about it. We have, Moon Mountains. That's a metaphor. Where have we found the metaphor Moon Mountains in our syllabus? Do you guys remember? Of course, we found it in To the Nile by John Keats, right? Into the Nile, we found the metaphor Moon Mountains. There is another metaphor you can find in To the Nile by John Keats, Mataka the Nangis. The metaphor was nurse of SWAT nations. That was a metaphor you found into the Nile. Let me show you guys very quickly. I can even give you guys the example right here. All right. We have another example. It is nurse of SWAT nations. Nurse of SWAT nations. That is a metaphor. It has the of, right? It is a metaphor that uses of, doesn't it? Nurse is a noun, of course, right? Nurse is a noun. It means breastfeeding mother, right? Usually when we say that she is nursing, we mean that she is a breastfeeding mother. SWAT nations are African nations. SWAT nations are dark-skinned. African nations, dark-skinned. African nations. Nations are also a noun, right? Nurse of SWAT nations is definitely a metaphor. It's another metaphor that we found in the poem To the Nile by John Keats. It is a poem under the theme of nature. So yes, there we go. You have a good understanding about what metaphors are. Another example, prison walls. Is it a metaphor or is it not? Prison walls can't be a metaphor because it's real, right? Prison walls is not a metaphor because there really are prison walls. However, mountain walls is a metaphor. Mountain walls is a metaphor because that there is no such thing called mountain walls, right? Is a metaphor because there is no such thing called a mountain wall. It's fake. So I hope you can understand the difference between metaphors and non-metaphors, because all metaphors have to be fake. For example, mountain walls is a metaphor, while prison walls is not a metaphor. I'm grabbing the link real quickly for you guys. Give me a second. Here's the YouTube link again. For some reason, if you guys leave, please come back or watch the recording on YouTube. Okay, almost done with the metaphors part. A lot of people miss this part as a metaphor. You guys might have read the poem The Clown's Wife by Johnson Agard. Can you tell me the theme of the poem though? Happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city. No, Amina, there is, close-knit family. Yeah, that is a metaphor, close-knit family. Jelly bag is a metaphor. We found the word jelly bag in what lesson? What do you guys think? Where have we found the word jelly bag in our syllabus? We found it in the Bear, right? All women were compared to jelly bags by Smirnov. Saying that women are jelly bags is a metaphor. It shows how women are inferior. I mean, Smirnov does, not Javed sir. Javed sir supports women, my God. But in the Bear, Smirnov said that all women are jelly bags. He compares women to jelly bags. That's a metaphor, by the way. So there are lots of metaphors in our syllabus. Another example for a metaphor, blue curtains of the sky. Where have we seen the metaphor blue curtains of the sky, Nangis and Mallis? We found it in To the Evening Star, right? While thou drawest the blue curtains of the sky, scatter thy silver dew. On every flower that shuts its sweet eyes in timely sleep, blue curtains of the sky is a metaphor because the sky does not really have curtains. But tell me, is shower curtains a metaphor? No, it's not, because we really have shower curtains, right? Curtains of the sky or sky curtains is a metaphor, but shower curtains is not a metaphor because you really have shower curtains. Metaphors must be fake. And you guys are right. The Clown's Wife is a poem under the theme of life. Why is clown of a wife a metaphor? Because is the wife really a clown? No. In this metaphor, the clown is directly compared to a wife. Hope you understand that. The wife is directly compared to a clown. The wife is not really a clown. It is a metaphor. Now, for example, in school, let's say that there's a kid in the back row fooling around, right? A kid in the back row who is being disruptive. The teacher will call the kid a clown, right? The kid is not really a clown. Sometimes your teacher might be like, yeah, Abdullah, stop behaving like a clown. Men, right? Stop behaving like a clown, Abdullah. That's a metaphor because Abdullah is not really a clown. Clown of a wife is a metaphor. However, wife of a clown is not a metaphor, okay? Wife of a clown is not a metaphor. However, clown of a wife is a metaphor because the wife is compared to a clown. However, wife of a clown is not a metaphor because the clown can really have a wife, right? Hope you can understand the difference. Clown of a wife means that the wife is a clown, which is fake because the wife is not really a clown in the Clown's Wife. The wife is satirized. The wife is mocked using this metaphor. That's another technique. Let's talk about that. Not a metaphor. Clown of a wife is a metaphor, but wife of a clown is not a metaphor. However, the wife is satirized through this metaphor. You guys can write this down if you want to, or you can screenshot this Satapatagala. The wife is satirized. Satirized. What do you mean by satirized? Mocked and criticized. Mocked and criticized is what you call satirized. When you mock someone and criticize that person at in the same time, you humorously mock someone, right? And you criticize that person at the same time, it is called satirization. That's a technique we have in our syllabus. Yes, the humor poems use a lot of satire, and don't confuse satire with sarcasm, all right? Satire means you are mocking someone while you are criticizing them. I give my pupils a brilliant example for satirization. Here's an extra technique, okay? Here's an example for satirization, and that is, hey, auntie, you look like a flat tire. That is an example for satire. Hope you understand that, okay? It is a way you guys can remember the word satire. So satire means, what do you mean by satire, Nangis? It means you are mocking someone. Mocking someone, that is what you mean by satire. So here's an example for you guys to remember what satire is. It is, auntie, you look like a flat tire. Auntie, put this inside quotation marks. Auntie, Kama, you look like a flat tire. That's an example for satire. That means you're mocking the auntie. Isn't this, by the way, a simile? Like a flat tire. That is a simile, right? So you can use metaphors and similes to satirize people. You can use metaphors and similes to mock people, to criticize people, to point out the mistakes of people. That is called satire. If you forget the word satire, remember, auntie, you look like a flat tire. However, to satirize people, we need techniques like metaphors and similes. In this case, it's a simile, right? Look like a flat tire is definitely a simile. A simile is very similar to metaphors, but there is a catch. I'll explain that to you guys very quickly. Let's move forward. We talked about how shower curtains is not a metaphor. Javed says a king. That is obviously a metaphor, right? Because you take two nouns and compare them directly. Hell yes, that is a metaphor. However, if you say that Pandu Kabaya is a king, is that a metaphor? Absolutely not, because there really was a king called Pandukabhaya. Metaphors must always be fake. Am I nobly born? Am I royal bred? No, I'm not. Another example I can think of for nobly born is Edward in The Prince and the Pauper, right? Tom Canty is not nobly born. Edward in The Prince and the Pauper is is the royal heir of England. So Javed sir is not at all nobly born. I am not a real king. That's why when you call Javed sir a king, it is a metaphor. While when you say that Pandukabhaya was a king, that is not a metaphor because it's real, right? Metaphors have to be fake. And well done. You guys might remember in The Bear, the title is a metaphor, right? Isn't the title in The Bear a metaphor? I'll give you guys this note also. The title, geniuses you guys are thinking in dimensions that even I can't think of. The title of The Bear, who wrote The Bear, by the way? Anton Watov, Anton Chekhov, right? By Anton Chekhov. Check without a Hoff like horse is a metaphor. The Bear by Anton Chekhov is also a metaphor because there is no real bear in the drama, right? Popova calls Smirnov a bear, but he is a human. That is why it is a metaphor. And well done, proud of you guys. Time thief. Absolutely, Amna, well done. Time thief. That's a metaphor, right? There is someone, imagine you have a friend who calls you a lot on WhatsApp. Now you have these harami friends who call you when you are studying, call you when you are attending an online class, right? Especially friends who call you if they are not in the mood to study, right? And they don't want you to study also. So aren't they time thieves? Your friends who disturb you, your friends who steal your time, aren't they? Are they literal time thieves or are they metaphorical time thieves? What do you guys think? They are metaphorical time thieves, right? Difference between appearances and reality. Of course, Srividya, you're right. We found that idea in The Clown's Wife. That is not the theme. The theme is life, but then that is the moral of The Clown's Wife, right? Appearances versus reality is not a theme. It is the moral of The Clown's Wife. The theme is life. It's given in our syllabus very clearly. What are the 5 themes of poetry? You guys might actually benefit out of this. What are the 5 themes of poetry, Nangi? Poetry themes, okay? Poetry themes. I love using the acronym SCHOOLIN. I use the acronym SCHOOLIN, SCHLN, CHLN, SCHOOLIN. These are the 5 themes of poetry. Whatever poem you talk about in our syllabus must fall under these 5 themes. We have society. S stands for society. C stands for conflict. Society. C stands for conflict. H stands for humor. L stands for life, and finally N stands for nature. The 5 poems must fall under these. The 20 poems in our syllabus must fall under one of these 5 themes in our syllabus. A poem cannot have more than one theme in our syllabus. So The Clown's Wife by Johnson Agard falls under the theme of life. If you guys don't remember the themes of the poems, take out your appreciation book, go to Roman page number 9. In Roman page number 9, you guys are going to find the 5 themes: SCHOOLIN, society, conflict, humor, life, and nature are the 5 themes. Per theme, we have 4 poems, right? We have 4 poems per theme. I'll mention that also. 4 poems per theme. A poem can only have one theme, by the way. 4 poems per theme. Per theme. And a poem can only have one theme. If you guys don't know, write this down as clearly as you guys can. 4 themes per poem, and a poem can only have one theme. A poem can only have one theme. That's the reason why The Clown's Wife falls under the theme of life. It does not fall under the theme of humor, right? It does not fall under the theme of humor. We have 4 different poems that fall under the theme of humor. So now that you guys know what the 5 themes are, now that you guys know what metaphors are, you guys should also know what similes are after this. Oh, crap. I haven't given you guys similes. What are similes, by the way? What are similes? There are two kinds of similes. I'll illustrate that right now. I don't know why I haven't added the simile part. All right. There are two kinds of similes, by the way. I'll show you guys real quickly. Satapatagala. Yep. I haven't added similes, sadly. What are similes, by the way? Similes are indirect comparisons, Nangis. So you guys know what metaphors are. There are four kinds of metaphors. It's when you take a noun and compare that noun with another noun, right? You say my teacher is a donkey. That's a metaphor. You say my brother is a monkey. That's a metaphor. You say my grandmother is a broken radio. Let's write them. Let's write all of the metaphors that we can as quick as possible. That's how we work hard, baby, in this class. It's not about spending 2 hours talking about literature. It's about actually getting work done. Here are thinking out loud. Javed says thinking out loud metaphors. Thinking out loud. Thinking out loud metaphors. Metaphors. Here we go. Real quickly, tell me your examples also. I'll steal your examples and put them in my presentation. It's raining cats and dogs is an idiom, Amna. Raining cats and dogs is a idiom. Heart hung humble as a button. That is a simile. Well done, Ilma. That is a simile. Born to drill is not a metaphor. It can't be. Born is a verb, not a noun. Glory flies. No, that is also not a metaphor because that's a hyperbolic statement. Fly is a verb, right? Fly is not a noun in that example. The unexplained glory flies above them. That was found in War is Kind, right? You're right, Zaid. The bear satirizes. Well done. I love that idea. We'll add that in our presentation also. The bear satirizes the landed gentry, right? The Bear by Anton Chekhov, we can even write this down here. The Bear by Anton Chekhov is a satire of the landed gentry. Is a satire. What do you mean by satire, Nangis and Mallis? A mockery, right? A mockery of the landed gentry. What do you mean by the landed gentry? Take this note down, Nangis. The landed gentry are the land-owning class. Land-owning class. However, let's talk about examples for metaphors, Nangis and Mallis. Here we go. Here are some examples out of the top of my head, okay? My teacher is a donkey. My teacher is a donkey. My teacher is a donkey. No, old goat, old goat. A lot of literature teachers are right. Fatima's brother is a monkey. Brother is a monkey. Is a talking monkey. How about that? A talking monkey. Talking monkey. What else though? What else? What is it? Diamond tears. Diamond tears. That's true, right? I mean, it's fake, but it makes sense, right? You can visualize her tears. You say diamond tears. Okay, give me your answers also. That's great, Tabith. Also, this is being streamed on YouTube, by the way. This will be over by 9 p.m. Don't worry. What's going on, Shahad? Glad you're here, dude. Daddy's Little Princess. Of course, Amina. That is a good example for a metaphor, right? But Fatima, how about this? I am Daddy's little princess. That is a metaphor because... Aren't you guys all your daddy's little princesses? Princess. That is also a metaphor, right? Because if you take two nouns and compare them directly, I am a pronoun. Princess is a noun. That is a metaphor. Well done, Nangis. Proud of you guys. And then we have... Will you be starting Bringing Tony Home? Of course, we are doing Bringing Tony Home already, Shahib. We've got Bringing Tony Home in Isaac.com. I'm teaching all 3 novels. Even tomorrow, I have a Bringing Tony Home class. And of course, you're right, Mariam. Schooling is the 5 themes under the theme of nature. Well done, Fayaz. You've got a good idea about, Fatima, you've got a good idea about the 5 themes in our syllabus. If you don't know the 5 themes under poetry, note this down. It's schooling. The 5 themes are society, conflict, humor, life, and nature. If you ask me, I'm very much biased towards the theme of nature. You can write some brilliant analyses under the theme of nature. Maths is a conflict. Why not? Maths is a conflict. I love it. That is a good example for a metaphor. You're targeting an A. Which theme should you choose? Akib, choose nature. Nature will never go wrong. And you should also choose Javed Sir's classes because I'm the best literature teacher in Sri Lanka, dude. Then professional life versus personal life is not a theme, Zahir. It is a not a moral also. It is an idea you can get out of the clown's wife. It falls under the theme of life, okay? Do not confuse themes. In poetry, each poem must have only one theme. And let's move forward. He's like a pig, of course. That is a good example for a metaphor. Like a thunderbolt is a simile, right? So what are similes, though? So we talked about metaphors. What are similes, though? Similes are indirect comparisons. What are similes? Nangis and Mallis, right? Smile, put an I between S and M. That's how you spell simile, by the way. What are similes? They are indirect comparisons. Now, usually we use like or as, right? Using like, we use the word like, we use the word as, all right? I'll give you guys an example, but remember, similes are kind of like an iteration of metaphors. I'll give you guys some good examples. We talked about a few metaphors here, right? We talked about some metaphors in the previous page, right? Let me grab them for you guys real quickly. We have 4 metaphors here, right? We have 4 metaphors here. Let's compare them to similes. Metaphors are direct comparisons, right? Metaphors are direct comparisons. Similes are indirect comparisons, aren't they? Similes are indirect. Metaphors are direct. Similes are indirect. Hope you understand that. Similes are indirect. They are indirect comparisons. I'll show you guys how that works. Now, for example, again, you said that Fatima is an angel, right? This session is dedicated to our Fatimas, right? Fatimas who make the world beautiful. Fatimas is an angel. If you want, you can say that Fatima is like an angel. Fatima walks like an angel, right? She walks like an angel. That is a good example. That is a good example for a simile. Do you understand? The word like is mentioned here. My teacher is old like a goat. If you say that my teacher is an old goat, that is a metaphor. But if you say my teacher is old like a goat, that is a simile. My teacher is old like a goat. I hate old literature teachers, man, because they're so boring, right? I mean, I love our teachers, by the way. But to be honest, that's the reason I started teaching literature, dudes. Because I saw that a lot of teachers out there are like half asleep when they teach. So we're about to change that. Our goal is to change that, by the way, okay? So this is a simile because my teacher is like an old goat, is like an old goat is a simile because this is a indirect comparison. Fatima's brother is like a monkey, right? Fatima's brother is a talking monkey. Fatima's brother talks like a monkey. Fatima's brother. Can you understand how similes work, Nangis and Mallis? Fatima's brother talks like a monkey, talks like a monkey. There we go. So easy. These are similes, right? Diamond tears. Your tears are as abundant. Your tears are as valuable as diamonds. Your tears are as Fatima's tears. Fatima's tears. Again, this session is dedicated towards our Fatimas. Fatima's tears are valuable as diamonds. Can you see that this is a simile because we use the word as, right? We make the comparison the comparison into an indirect comparison, right? That is why it is a simile. Fatima is precious to her father as a princess. Fatima's father treats her like a what? Fatima's father treats her like a princess, treats her like a princess. Isn't that true? Of course, right? True story, right? So there we go. Now, for example, the phone that you guys are, the Fatimas are using to join this session, right? Who bought you that phone, baby? Your dada, right? That's the reason. I thought of this simile. Fatima's father treats her like a princess. Now, do you understand how similes work? But there is an out of syllabus format also. There's an out of syllabus similes. There is an out of syllabus simile format also. I can't forget that. I have to mention that also for you guys. Simile. There is an out of syllabus simile format also. Let me show you guys real quickly. If you use the word then, all right? If you use the word then, right? Using the word then, that is also a simile, but it is not recognized in our syllabus. Sadly, teachers will not give you marks because it is not defined in our syllabus, sadly. But yes, you can use the word then. For example, richer than a king, right? Where have we seen the simile richer than a king? Richer than a king. We have seen it in Richard Cory, right? Richard Cory. We have seen it in Richard Cory. If you want, I'll make the note here. Richer than a king is a simile we found in Richard Cory. Richard Cory. Love it. You guys also might remember, than oars divide the ocean. Two silver for a seam. Where have we seen this simile, Nangis and Mallis? Tell me, my genius full level, my genius kids. As blind as a bat, that's a simile. Well done, Amna. We've got her mum has a heart of gold. That's a metaphor. Like a thunderbolt, he falls. Of course, Amina, that is a simile. We found it in the eagle, right? Time is a key of success. That is a metaphor. Metaphor, Axia. Well done, Nangi. Cup of happiness is a metaphor. Well done. We have already begun bringing Tony home. I'll explain to you guys how you can join our sessions, how you guys can master the subject literature, and how you guys can actually start getting the maximum benefit out of online sessions. If this were a physical class, do you guys think that you could join? Absolutely not. That's why I am more biased towards online classes. We can get a lot done within a very small time window. So in Isaac.com, we exclusively conduct online sessions, and the classroom is a zoo. That is a metaphor. Well done, Ashfaq. I love your name also. It sounds so elegant, looking like a wow. Your name is Ashfaq, is my favorite sounding name. Sir, if I am targeting an A, which theme should I choose? Again, choose nature. Nature is the best example, the best theme that you can use to get A. A, sweet as sugar. How about this? Life is sweet like cinnamon. Why not? Fatima's life is sweet as no. Fatima is sweet as cinnamon. Fatima is sweet as cinnamon. That is a good example. Sweet as. I'll say, yeah, cinnamon. How do you spell cinnamon? Like this. Cinnamon. There we go. Oh, come on. Cinnamon. There we go. Oh, come on, man. That's so unfortunate. With an O, that's crazy. Okay, matama. But that's okay. That's all right. Fatima is cinnamon, right? Fatima is Fatima's breath is cinnamon. All right. Fatima's breath is freshly ground cinnamon. Oh, breath is cinnamon. All right. That is a metaphor. Thank God. All right. Almost lost it. All right. Regardless. Fatima is sweet as cinnamon is a simile. Love it. You guys are geniuses. Gonna move forward then. Basically, everyone here understands what similes and metaphors are. Apart from that, right now, though, is a buzzing bee. Your friend is a buzzing bee. You say Asma. Well done. That is also a good example for a metaphor. You're right. Absolutely. So now that we've got everything covered, all right, work is a nightmare. Of course, Fahmida, you're right. Work is a nightmare is definitely is a metaphor. Well done. And what's going on, Rukhaya? Glad you're here. Blind as a bat again is a simile. Well done. Food is happiness. That is a metaphor. Yes, happiness is a noun, right? Happiness is a noun. Food is a noun. Food is happiness is a metaphor. White as snow, you guys know, right? Basically, similes are indirect comparisons when you use the words like and as to make the comparison. However, there is another out of syllabus kind of a simile that you guys have to learn, and that is using the word then we make the comparison. 2 silver for a seam. Then is it? And rode him softer home. Apologies. Rode him softer home. Softer home. Then O's divide the ocean. Where have we seen this, Nangis and Mallis? Then O's divide the ocean. Again, it means that the bird in a bird came down the walk was rode softer home using his wings, right? Then O's in the ocean. Then O's in the ocean, his wings move him softer home. That is a out of syllabus simile, by the way. Even though these lines are taken from the syllabus, it is an out of syllabus comparison. We can use the words then to make similes, but it is not recognized in our syllabus. Let's keep moving forward, baby. You guys know what alliterations are, right? You guys know how alliterations work. It is when you have adjacent words that start with the same sound. However, I told you guys that similes and metaphors, right, and even hyperbole are visual techniques. What kind of a technique is alliteration? Alliteration is considered as an auditory technique. Auditory technique. Alliterations are. There are 4 kinds of auditory techniques, by the way, right? Not just alliteration. These are called sound devices, but in our syllabus, we call them auditory techniques as well. 4 kinds of auditory techniques. If you guys don't know, you can write this down. We have alliterations, consonants, assonance, and onomatopoeia. These are the 4 auditory techniques. What do you mean by alliteration? I'll give you guys an example per topic. Alliteration is when you have adjacent words beginning with the same sound. Now, for example, lucky lady. Lucky lady is a good example for an alliteration because we have adjacent words beginning with the same sound. However, consonants is when we have the same sound inside of the words. Now, for example, history's kiss. History's kiss. What is the same sound that you guys hear in history's kiss? It's a very easy sounding sound. The s sound, right? In history's kiss. History's kiss, we have the s sound, and that is an example for consonants. These are constant sounding words or non-vowel sounds, right? Non-vowel sounds. Non-vowel sounds. However, when you have vowel sounds inside of the words, you use assonance. You call it assonance. Now, for example, a bag of ham, a bag of ham, a bag of chopped lamb, a bag of chopped lamb, a bag of chopped lamb. Tell me, Nangis, what is the same vowel sound that you guys hear in this sentence? A bag of chopped lamb. Vowel sounds. Absolutely, you guys are right. Geniuses you guys are. It is the R sound, right? A bag of chopped lamb. There's a A sound. Oh, bag, lamb. Yeah, there's an A sound, right? Bag, lamb. There's an A sound you get. That is why these are called assonance. Assonance means you have adjacent words that have the vowel sound inside of them. Consonance means we have adjacent words that have the non-vowel sounds inside of them. However, you guys should remember that when we talk about alliteration, we have adjacent words beginning with the same sound. We have adjacent words beginning with the same sound. Adjacent words beginning with the same sound are called alliteration. You guys can write this down, okay? Really valuable these are. You can understand the difference between the four auditory devices because teachers don't talk about this. What are the four auditory devices, baby? Green rushes like our rivers. Well done, Zahir. That is found into the Nile. She barks like a dog. Of course, Sarah, that is a good example for a simile. Mum's little king, that is Ammar, a good example for a metaphor. Are you Mum's little king, dude? Then O's divide the ocean. You're right, Reshma. We found that in A Bird Came Down the Walk. Agreed. We found Richer Than a King in Richard Cory by Edwin Arlington Robinson. We have more, though. We have more. What is hyperbole? Oh, richer than a king can be hyperbole also. You're right. In our syllabus, we consider richer than a king to be hyperbole. You're right. We'll talk about hyperbole as well, okay? We have examples for hyperbole as well. We'll get you there very quickly. But at the moment, we are talking about the sound devices. What are the sound devices? There are four of them. We have alliteration. We have consonants, assonance, and we have onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a word that communicates only a sound, a word that communicates only a sound. There is no meaning behind the word. The word is merely a sound. Now, for example, oh, ah, bang, bang, dishoom, boom. Those are examples for onomatopoeia. Regardless, now we are talking about alliteration. Remember, alliteration is when adjacent words begin with the same sound, all right? Adjacent words beginning with the same sound is called alliteration, right? Now, for example, we have Silly Sally Saw a Squirrel. We have Lucky Lady, my God, Rusted Rod, and we have Lonely Lands. My God, Lonely Lands was found in the eagle, right? These are good examples for alliteration. It is adjacent words beginning with the same sound. Brave like a lion, Zainab, that is a simile indeed. White as snow is a simile. You're right. Haya looked like frightened beads. My God, you're right, Zahir. That we found in A Bird Came Down the Walk. Absolutely. I love it. I'll add it here. They look like frightened beads, I thought. Well done, dude. That is a good example for a simile, right? In syllabus examples. In syllabus examples for similes. There's nothing wrong with noting these down. Examples for similes. They are one we have. Again, it's smile with an I between S and M. With an I between S and M. There we go. Similes. We have, they look like frightened beads. I thought they, or the bird's eyes, right? The bird's eyes. The bird's eyes. Looked like frightened beads, I thought. Looked like frightened beads, I thought. There we go. That is a good example for a simile in A Bird Came Down the Walk. A bird came down the walk by Emily Dickinson is her name, right? Love it. Love it. I don't know how she got her name. All right, okay, gonna move forward. What did she put inside her son? All right, okay. Another in-syllabus example for a simile. Rushers like our rivers, right? Rushers like our rivers. Rushers like our rivers. Help your Javids and Angis and Malis. I believe in you guys. Rushers like our rivers. That's a good example for a simile. We found it in To the Nile by John Keats. To the Nile, we found it in the ending of the poem, right? Rushers like our rivers and dost taste the pleasant sunrise. Of course, you're right. Ashfaq, the classroom is like a fish market. Why not? I love it. That is a good example for a simile. Gonna move forward. Fast as a bullet, you're right. And then sweet as honey. These are similes indeed. And apart from that, we're also talking about what alliteration is. Absolutely. Rahmat, you're right, dude. We have, he clasps the crag with crooked hands. Why not? That's a good example for Alliteration. Where have we seen this? He clasps the crag with crooked hands, Nangis and Mallis. We found he clasps the crag with crooked hands. He clasps the crag with crooked hands in The Eagle, right? We found it in The Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson. That is a good example for alliterations. Even Lonely Lands is another example for an alliteration that we found in our syllabus. Remember that these words are not joined together. Apart from that, they are adjacent. They are very close by. They're not joined together, by the way. This is alliteration. However, we talked about three more auditory devices. We talked about three more sound devices. What are they? We have assonance and consonance. What are assonance, by the way? Adjacent words containing similar vowel sounds. Assonance are adjacent words containing similar constant or non-vowel sounds. I'll give you guys the examples very quickly. Assonance, we talked about it. Adjacent words containing identical vowel sounds. The word her mother heard. What the hell? That's amazing. Okay, the word her mother heard. You guys see the E sound here, right? The sound here, right? The word her mother heard. Her. Yeah, even this is also a sound, right? Not the letter. Don't look at the letter, look at the pronunciation, all right? Do not look at the letter. Do not consider the letter. Consider the pronunciation of the sound. Consider the pronunciation of the sound. There we go. That's how you figure out assonance. Don't you agree that all of these sounds are the same? The word, look at my mouth, by the way. Zoom in my mouth. Look at how I pronounce the word, her mother heard. I do the sound a lot, right? I'm making the sound a lot, am I not? The word, her mother heard. It is not alliteration because we can't find this sound in the beginning of the words. We found this sound in the middle or in the ending of the words. The word her mother heard. Write this down, Nangis and Mallis. Bloody important this is. Absolutely important. The reason is not many people realize that we have 4 auditory devices in our syllabus, not 2 auditory devices. We've got 4. What are they? We have alliteration, we have assonance, consonance, and we have onomatopoeia. So here are the examples. For assonance, right? The word her mother heard. Sam is a bad man, right? And then we have B, a bee and an eel move in speed. Oh, crap, that's brilliant, by the way. A bee and an eel, right? A bee and an eel move in speed. Look at my mouth, by the way. Look at how my mouth holds the same pronunciation over and over again. When I recite, a bee and an eel move in speed, the E sound is obviously assonance. Why is it not alliteration? Because the words are in the middle of the sound is in the middle of the word. It's not in the beginning of the word. Hope you understand that. That's some scalding water, man. And if you guys, all right, wanna support Javed sir, okay? If you guys want to develop your knowledge regarding literature, if you guys want literature to be the easiest subject out of the 9, you guys can join Javed sir's classes. How do you join Javed sir's online classes? We have our classes weekly. Actually, we have our classes on many days per week, but you guys can join the class that you fit deeming for your study. Let me show you guys how you can join Javed sir's classes, okay? Boom, you have to log into Isaac.com. That's the first thing that you guys have to do. It is very phonetic. It is Isaac. It's AYZACK. I'll give you guys a zoomed in. There we go. A zoomed in version of the website. It is designated for online learning. It's Isaac.com. It's not IsaacCollege.com. It's not IsaacEducation.com. It is not IsaacTutoring.com. It's Isaac.com. We spent a lot of money registering this domain, and I'm very proud of it. because it's easier for our pupils to find our website. It's isaac.com, phonetic. Actually, there was a scientist who I threw a coconut onto his head, but it hit a apple tree and an apple fell onto his head. And this scientist decided to name himself after our website, isaac.com. You might have heard of this scientist also. The dude who discovered gravity, yeah, that dude, yeah. So he named himself after our website. Bastard, right? He's okay. He stole our name. That's the reason. He even spelled Isaac wrong. He spelled our name differently. So right now, though, we're talking about joining Javed Sir's website. Remember, if you want to join Javed Sir's website, the first thing you have to do is you have to create an account in isaac.com. Will take you less than 5 minutes. It will take you less than 5 minutes. You go into isaac.com, you click on join, and then you fill in this form. Will take you less than a minute to fill in this form. You write in the basic stuff, right? Your name, your date of birth, your gender, your email. You have to have an email, by the way. You have to be able to access your email as well. So once you do create your account in isaac.com, you guys can log in. So how do you log in? You write in your email and your password. I am gonna use one of my demo accounts to log in and show you guys the subjects in isaac.com, demo.student at isaac.com. The password is obviously monkey. Okay. Once you log into isaac.com, once you create your account and once you log into isaac.com, you see a notice board, but the notice board isn't important. You have to go under all classes, live classes. One more time, go to the left console like this, click under all classes, live classes. Boom, you're going to see the classes that we have in isaac.com. We've got history. We have maths. Who teaches maths in isaac.com? This guy called Javed Osan. I've heard his name somewhere before this. He teaches maths? What? That's interesting. Okay, so you have maths in isaac.com, you have history, you have science, you've got all of the good stuff. Your ICT, right? You've got all of the good stuff in isaac.com. You can't forget English Lit. First of all, select your syllabus. If you want to find Javed Sir's literature classes, click on syllabi, click on ordinary level. You can choose your grade if you want to. I will not. Click on English Literature. And then if you want, you can even choose Javed Sir's name here on top. And these are the classes that we have for English Lit. So once you have a class that you want to join, now, for example, on Saturdays, we have a grade 10 class, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We have our grade 11 class after that. We have a paper class on Thursdays. We have the novel classes on Sundays. And remember, your Javed Sir is the only teacher who teaches all 3 novels in Sri Lanka. Not a single teacher teaches all 3 novels properly in Sri Lanka. Every single week, we learn all 3 novels. We learn Bringing Tony Home. We learn The Prince and the Pauper. We learn The Vendor of Sweets. And a lot of teachers who teach literature have not read the novel. Can you believe that? A lot of teachers out there who teach literature have not read the novel. Anyone can teach a poem, all right? Anyone, even you guys, can teach The Eagle if you wanted to. The actual problem is writing analyses. We have a class of papers where we definitely write analyses in the class itself. Writing analyses is complicated. I'm the only teacher who writes the entire analysis in the class itself. On YouTube also, I have videos on YouTube in isaac.com. If you guys go to YouTube and just type in Isaac, A-Y-Z-A-C-K, phonetic, Isaac, and you go into our YouTube channel, I have written analyses in the class itself. I'm not talking about O-level lit. Even for the A-level literature syllabus, I write analyses in the class itself. Can you believe that? So take a look at this. This is an analysis. This is an analysis for The Bear by Anton Chekhov, baby. Love it. Can you see the entire analysis? You have to have a vertical device, by the way, because we write analyses using vertical devices. We wrote the entire analysis in the class itself. Can you believe that? You can't find all of our theory sessions on YouTube. We only find a few sessions here and there. Regardless, you can also find A-level analyses that we wrote word by word in the class on YouTube. If you can, go on YouTube, drop us a like, drop us a follow, subscribe, comment, share. If you can, that'll be amazing. We will name our children after you if you do so. Regardless, I'm the only teacher who writes analyses. Tell me another teacher who wrote a complete analysis in front of you. I will stop teaching literature. Send me a recording of another teacher writing an analysis in front of you, word by word, explaining the entire question. I will stop teaching literature. There is no teacher out there because I actually write analyses. I'll show you guys how many analyses my pupils and I wrote in the class, baby. Hundreds of analyses. These are the analyses that we wrote recently. All of these are almost analyses that we wrote in the class itself. But wait, there is more. There is more. Another folder full of analyses. There is another folder full of analyses. Take a look at this, Nangisa. My God, that's a lot. That's a bloody lot. And there is more analyses that we wrote. So the two difficult things in literature are the novel. Teachers don't teach all three novels. I do. Teachers don't read the novels. Even I do read them and memorize the important extracts of them. That's a different story. And we write analyses in the class itself. Again, anyone can teach the poems, but not everyone can teach the entire syllabus. I'm talking about all three novels, and I'm talking about the two dramas and the 4 short stories. And I swear to God, not a single literature teacher out there can write an analysis in one session in front of you, explaining what they are doing, because it's bloody difficult to write analyses, not reading the analysis, okay? We don't read them. We write them in the class itself. Anyone can read an analysis. I'm talking about writing the analysis in the class itself. You can't find someone like Javed sir. I know I talk a lot about myself, but it's true. But it's true. Who made me the best though? My pupils, like you guys. You guys made me the best. And you guys will further make yourselves the best by joining Javed sir's literature classes. Join through Isaac.com, baby. There are so many packages. The novel classes separate. The ultra fast track class separate. The theory classes separate. Or if you guys really want to, you can join our VIP slot and join all of the literature classes for $2,200 per month. Yes, if you guys are learning maths, you guys can join Javed sir's maths classes. Imagine if I did literature like this, how awesome my maths will be, right? Join Javed sir's maths classes if you want to. If you want to join all of the classes, including maths, then you guys can purchase this VIP slot right here. It's very easy to use. You can differentiate between the subjects because out there are websites where all of the subjects look the same. You don't know what you are doing. You don't know whose class you are joining. But here you know whose classes you're joining because it's very easy to use Isaac.com. It's a user-friendly website. Again, we work very hard, so we are the best. Regardless, once you found the class that you want to join, I assume that you guys will join the Literature VIP. Let's say you click on the Lit VIP, you click on Pay Now, and then you have two options, okay? You have two options. You can pay using a bank transfer or deposits, or you can pay online using a bank card. Your dada, your mama might have a bank card, might have a credit card, and using that bank card, credit card, you guys can make the payments. However, it is up to you. You can online transfer and upload the receipt, or you guys can pay using a credit debit card. It's up to you. So like I said, joining the classes will only take 5 minutes, but let's say you join the class. How do you, let's say you paid for the class. Why Isaac.com though? Why Isaac.com compared to another website? The reason is we save all of our recordings. We save all of our recordings in Isaac.com. So if you pay for a month, the entire recording series of that month will be saved in Isaac.com. They will never expire. Can you believe that? They will never expire. And the reason that we made this feature available in Isaac.com is because we care about you guys. Take a look at this, okay? You go under the calendar feature in Isaac.com after you make the payments. You can go way back and you can find the lessons that we completed in the class itself. The recordings for the lessons that we completed. So let's say you click on, you want to find out what we did last Saturday, okay? Let's say that you want to find out what we did last Saturday. You click on this tile right here. You go under Saturday, the 2nd of December, and you click, last Saturday, apologies, last Saturday. You click on Saturday, the 23rd of December. Click on this right here. Click on e-notes. You guys can access the note. Very easy. You guys can access the note of the You guys can access the note of the lesson. Really simple, really straightforward. Apart from that, you guys can also watch the recording. The recordings will never expire. Can you believe that? The recordings in isaac.com will never expire. They will be available for unlimited playbacks and no time restrictions. This is a vertical recording, by the way, because we write analyses using vertical screens. Let me show you a horizontal recording as well. A horizontal recording for you guys. So remember, if you join isaac.com and let's say you miss a class, nothing to worry. The recording of that class will be available forever, no time restrictions, no interruptions, and unlimited playbacks. So here we go. If you click on, let's say, this tile right here, let me show you guys. Select Javed Osan as the educator. You guys, there we go. There's a presentation session that we did, so you can access the horizontal screen recordings also in isaac.com. So we really care about what we do here in Isaac. We take online education very seriously, and we believe in creating value for our pupils. Online is not a part-time here in isaac.com. It's not like a after A-level girl or some kind of a teacher who teaches physical and then does streams online, nothing like that. We have designated specialty online lessons for you guys, and we have a website that is so valuable that you can access the recordings and you can access the e-notes and the tutorials through isaac.com itself. If you guys need any more information about isaac.com or you guys need some more help, you guys want free PDF tutorials, lesson tutorials, message my admin through this number right here. Give me a second. Message my admin through this number right here. She'll help you. A very friendly person she is. It is not 777-060-963. If you guys need any information about literature or any other subjects we teach in isaac.com, drop a WhatsApp message to this number. This is the admin's number, and she will help you figure out. You can message her anytime you want, any time of the day. It doesn't matter. Midnight also completely fine. Call her if you also want to, no issue at all. Regardless, let's keep moving forward, baby. Now that you guys know how to join isaac.com. And now, one more time. Screenshot the hell out of this. Screenshot this, Nangis and Mallis. Who won with toil is not a technique, actually. Won with toil means tired, Amina. It is into the Nile by John Keats, right? Art thou so fruitful, or dost thou beguile such men to honor thee, who worn with toil rest for a space twixt Cairo and Deccan? Yes, I have even memorized the poems and the important extracts from the short stories, dramas, and the novels. And you guys, my pupils, will also automatically memorize these poems and the important extracts from the short stories, dramas, and novels. Regardless, oh life, our life, that's an example for onomatopoeia. Agreed. We'll talk about onomatopoeia very quickly, very soon. Reshma, you're right. What about monologue and soliloquy? I'll explain them also, Axia. What monologue and soliloquy is. I believe I have them in my presentation also. You had more problems than a math book. That is a simile, right, for Hamida? She had more problems than a math book. That is a simile, but out of syllabus simile. So in our syllabus, we call it a comparison, don't we? Rolls on the beach. Rolls on, that's an assonance. You're right, Rahmat. Rose on a beach. And Haya, you're right. Meow, meow is an onomatopoeia. Agreed. Onomatopoeia, pretty much interjections, aren't they? Not exactly, because I mean, bow bow isn't exactly an interjection, right? I mean, interjections can be onomatopoeias, but onomatopoeias can't be interjections. Do you understand that, Nangi? It doesn't go both ways. Now, for example, thumbs are fingers, but fingers aren't thumbs, right? Like that. Interjections can be onomatopoeias, but onomatopoeias can't be interjections. Hope that makes sense. Dumb daughter is a good example for a alliteration. You're right, Riha. Do you know any dumb daughters, by the way? In the A-level syllabus, there is a drama called The Dumb Waiter, actually. In the A-level syllabus, I also teach A-level literature. And that means I'm a real literature teacher, okay? That means I'm a real literature teacher, because no one out there teaches A-level literature, because that is bloody difficult. It's bloody difficult. And my analyses are so professional because I teach A-level literature. I don't teach using broken English. I don't teach using grade 6 English because 90% of the people out there are teaching using broken English or grade 6 English. We are professional with our teaching because I also teach A-level literature. Again, I know I might sound like I got a big head. I'm not, I'm very humble, but I believe that when you are the best, you have to acknowledge that, right? So at the moment, not only am I the best literature teacher for O-level in Sri Lanka, I'm also the best literature teacher for A-levels. Swear to God, go on YouTube and just Google English literature. Search for English literature, O-level or A-level, and compare the educators with your Javed sir. You guys are obviously going to be biased towards me because we work insanely hard. I talk the talk, but I also walk the walk. All right. So can't forget, let's talk about consonants. Consonants are non-vowel sounding words. Non-vowel sounds you can find inside adjacent words. For example, little Sally likes milk. That is a example for consonants, right? Screenshot this, write this down if you guys don't have this with you already. Little Sally likes milk, la la la. That is a consonants. Why is it a consonance and not an assonance? It's a consonance because there is no vowel sound, right? Little Sally likes milk. The L sound is a consonant sound. History's kiss is a good example for a consonance, and mother's hammered ham is a good example for a consonance. Onomatopoeia purely sounds, right? Sounds like bang, boom, zip, ayo, right? These are all good examples for onomatopoeia. How do you spell onomatopoeia, by the way? It is ono, mato, po-e-i-a. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeias are words that communicate a sound. I believe in our syllabus, onomatopoeia is not a very prominent technique in our syllabus. Regardless, you still have to learn it. We have a bit of examples for onomatopoeia. And now you guys know what the auditory techniques are. How about this? In the Clown's Wife also, we found O life, R life, O and R are onomatopoeia, right? Bow bow is an onomatopoeia, bark is not. We'll talk about the ironies now, because this is a section where a lot of people don't realize, a section where a lot of people are confused, especially when it comes to dramatic irony. People don't know what it is. Even teachers don't understand the difference between the three ironies. I will explain them to you guys right now, okay? But before that, I remember someone asked me about soliloquies and asides and soliloquies. I remember someone asked me here. So hell yes, I'll explain them right now to you guys, because Javed sir really knows literature. I promise, I know literature. I am that good in the sense I don't even need the note. I am a walking note of literature. We have two kinds of dialogues, okay? We have two kinds. We have actually not dialogues, we call them. We have four different kinds of dialogues, okay? We have four different kinds of dialogues, right? So I'll explain them right now. We have the normal dialogue, right? Dialogue. We have the normal dialogue. Then we have something called monologue. A monologue is a long piece of dialogue, a long piece of dialogue. Now, for example, dialogue. For example, in The Bear, you know Smirnov had a misogynistic monologue, didn't he? In The Bear, Smirnov had a misogynistic monologue. Smirnov's misogynistic monologue. Can you believe that? Smirnov's misogynistic monologue was an example for monologues that we found in The Bear. Monologue, L-O-G, there we go, perfect. We had more examples. We had Sue's dramatic monologue. Sue's dramatic monologue. There we go. In Twilight of a Crane. So a monologue is a long piece of dialogue. I can show you guys also real quickly in The Bear. I have the digested document for the drama The Bear here waiting for you guys. waiting to be exposed in front of your childish eyes, nangis and mallis. The bear, the digested document, again, I type all of these, I make all of these presentations. Please join isaac.com. Please message my admin so she can send you the PDFs of these presentations for free. Regardless, let me quickly show you guys the misogynistic monologue of Smirnov. What do you mean by misogyny, by the way? Treating women like a garbage, not like Javed sir. Okay, my God, I respect women, as you guys see. I respect Fatima a lot, right? I deliver an accolade of Fatima. I deliver. We'll talk about those techniques also. Okay, I want to do you guys a big favor and teach you guys techniques that you actually have never heard of, but are in our syllabus. I'll explain them also, all right? Stick around, because I'm very sure none of you might have learned these techniques, but these are also important, even though they are not recognized in our syllabus. Real quickly, let me show you guys the digested document of the bear, the misogynistic monologue of Smirnov. All women. All women, great or little. There we go. That's real silly feminine logic. That's why I never did like and don't like now to have to talk to women. I'd rather sit on a barrel of gunpowder than talk to a woman. I can't even see one of those poetic creatures from a distance without breaking out into a cold sweat out of sheer anger. I can't look at them. I'll give you guys a better rendition. I'll use the ebook to read out Smirnov's misogynistic monologue. What do you mean by misogynistic? It means you treat women like garbage. Here we go. Can you see how long the dialogue is, by the way? Because it's long, it's so neat, the guy, it's called a monologue. A dialogue is usually small. A monologue is bloody long, right? Silly and rude. I don't know how to behave before women. Madam, in my time, I've seen more women than you've seen sparrows. 3 times I've fought duels on account of women. I've refused 12 women and 9 have refused me. Yes, there was a time when I played the fool, scented myself with honeyed words, wore jewelry, made beautiful bows. I used to love to suffer, to sigh at the moon, to get sour and to get sour, to thaw, to freeze. I used to love passionately, madly, every blessed way devil take me. I used to chatter like a magpie about emancipation and wasted half my wealth on tender. You understand? It's bloody long, right? That's a monologue. A long piece of dialogue is called a monologue. Then we've got asides. A side is a short dialogue, only heard by the audience. Only the audience can hear an aside. By the way, in Tamil serials, they call this mind voice, right? If you guys have watched Tamil serials like Roja and what else? Give me some Tamil serials. Bharati Kannamma, right? Bharati Kannamma. Sometimes the Villi, the antagonist of the series, right, talks to themselves, but the audience can hear them. First night, I'll let you have first night. I'm going to put poison inside your milk. They talk to themselves, right? They talk to themselves. You can hear them. There was an aside in our syllabus. Lucas aside in the bear. Example, Lucas aside in the bear. Lucas aside in the bear. Luca had an aside. Lucas aside in the bear. Do you guys remember the aside in the bear? Lucas aside. The devil's come to stay. Bad luck that brought him here. The devil's come to stay. The devil's come to stay. Bad luck that brought him here. To be honest, there are no soliloquies in our syllabus. A soliloquy, if you want, you can write this down. I promise you, this is so valuable. No one talks about monologues, asides, and soliloquies in our syllabus. A dialogue is simple. It can be anything, by the way. A dialogue can be anything. But under dialogues, we have monologues, we have asides, and we have soliloquy. We have soliloquies. A soliloquy is a long aside. A long aside. There are no in-syllabus examples. No in-syllabus examples. In-syllabus examples. Examples for soliloquies. There are no in-syllabus examples for soliloquies. However, Sue's monologues in Twilight of a Crane. How many dramas do we have in our syllabus? Tell me, my genius Nangis and Mallis. 10 more minutes, baby. We're running out of time. We have 2 dramas. One is the grade 11 drama. What's the grade 11 drama? It is Twilight of a Crane. What is the grade 10 drama? It is The Bear by Anton Chekhov. Hell yes. This is a grade 11 drama, Twilight of a Crane. Sue's soliloquies, Sue's monologues in Twilight of a Crane are like soliloquies. Because there is no one left, because no one hears her monologues, because no one hears her monologues. No one hears her speeches. No one hears her speeches. So there are 3 more kinds of dialogues. We have monologue, we have aside, and we have soliloquy. There are, screenshot this. There are out of syllabus techniques that you guys have to learn, but I'll explain what they are, okay? There is an elegy in our syllabus. Elakiri, no, elegy. There is an elegy in our syllabus. Out of syllabus techniques out of syllabus in the sense teachers don't know these techniques. I swear you must have never heard of these techniques unless you are a student of Javed Sirs. Here are out of syllabus techniques, by the way, okay? First of all, we've got accolades, elegies, okay? Elegy or elegies. The plural is called elegies. And elegies is an excessive praise, excessive praisal, excessive accolade or praise for dedicated towards someone. What is the only elegy we found in our syllabus? Tell me, my Elakiri pupils, what is the only elegy that we found in our syllabus, Nangis and Mallis? It's very simple. It is an accolade of someone who is perhaps dead, by the way, okay? An accolade of someone who is perhaps dead. What can I say, Mariam, if you can ask me the question again? Agreed, Reshma. You know who I'm talking about, right? So many people out there. You want paradoxes also. I'll explain that also very quickly. Yes, I can. I'll have time. I'll explain them very quickly. An accolade is an excessive praise of someone, dedicated towards someone who is usually dead, towards someone who is usually dead, who is usually dead. Who was the dead man praised in our syllabus? You guys know it was Richard Cory. Well done, Mariam. Richard Cory is a example for an accolade. Someone dead or a non-human, okay? Or a non-human. Richard Cory is a good example, right? Example in our syllabus, even though they don't recognize this in our syllabus. Richard Cory is an accolade. Richard Cory is a elegy. Apologies, made a small mistake. Elegy name, eulogy, okay? Eulogy. See, even I sometimes confuse them. Eulogy is an accolade or praise dedicated towards someone who is dead or a non-human. Example, Richard Cory by Edwin Arlington Robinson. Richard Cory is an accolade. It is a eulogy. And then we have the Nightingale's eulogy of what does the Nightingale praise in The Nightingale and the Rose. Nikolai Mihalowicz is someone dead. There is no accolade of him, right? There is no accolade of Nikolai Mihalowicz. He's just dead. But Richard Cory had an accolade. The poem Richard Cory is an accolade. The Nightingale Nightingale and the rose. The nightingale's accolade or the nightingale's eulogy of love. She praises love in the nightingale and the rose. In the short story, the nightingale and nightingale and the rose. Love it. Perfect. And then we have elegies. It is an expression of sadness when someone dies. An expression of sadness when someone is dead, when someone dies. For example, we don't have examples in our syllabus. There is no examples in syllabus. There is a poem called She Dwells Among the Untrodden Ways. There's a poem called She Dwells Among the Untrodden Ways by William Wordsworth. That is a good example for an elegy. She dwelt among. Among is a preposition, so it can't be capitalized. Among the untrodden ways is a good example for an elegy. If you guys want, please Google this and go through the poem. It's a very simple poem. We had this in the previous syllabus, before your syllabus. These are techniques that people usually don't think about. Eulogies and elegies are techniques that are pretty much out of syllabus, but Richard Cory is a eulogy. If you think about it, Richard Cory is definitely a eulogy. However, eulogies and elegies are not found in our syllabus. Odes are not found in our syllabus, Some people, they say that to the evening star is an ode. No, to the evening star is not an ode. To the evening star is not an ode. To the evening star and to the Nile are not odes, they are apostrophes. Apostrophe is an addressing dedicated towards an unhuman. An addressing dedicated towards a non-human. To the evening star and to the Nile are not odes. If someone tells you that to the evening star or to the Nile are odes, slap them, they can't be odes. There are 5 great odes by John Keats. The 5 great odes by John Keats are not recognized by our syllabus. Can you believe that? No, Nikolai Mihalowicz can't be an elegy because he's not praised, right? You must praise someone. Now, Richard Cory is an elegy. I'll tell you why. Not elegy. Oh, elegy, right? No, elegy must be a poem, by the way. A poetical expression. Good question, by the way. A poetical expression. It must be in the format of a poem, usually. That must be a... can it be a speech? Good question, by the way. Can elegies be speeches? Let's double check that. Must be a poem. Elegies must be poems, by the way. Yes, we do, Salma. We have our grade 11 class in a bit, okay? So we have to cut the seminar at about 9 o'clock sharp. So let's quickly move forward. There are no odes in our syllabus. There are only apostrophes in our syllabus. To the evening star and to the Nile are apostrophes. Here are examples for odes, okay? Examples for odes. These are out of syllabus. We have the 5 great odes. Odes by John Keats. These are taught in the A-level syllabus by John Keats. Recognized by the A-level syllabus. GCE A-level syllabus. They are Autogris, Ode to a Nightingale. They are ode. Number 1, we have Ode to a Nightingale. If someone tells you that to the Nile and to the evening star are odes, slap them. They're wrong. To the Nile and to the evening star are not odes. They are apostrophes. And to the Nile is actually a Petrarchan sonnet. To the Nile is the only sonnet in our syllabus. To the Evening Star is not a sonnet. To the Evening Star is not recognized as a sonnet because it does not have a formal rhyming scheme. To the Nile is a Petrarchan sonnet. It is recognized as a Petrarchan sonnet, really valuable. However, Ode to a Nightingale is an ode. We also have Ode, Psychomonopoly, Ode on Psyche, Ode to Psyche. Psyche. Psyche means your soul, your soul. Psyche means soul. We have Ode to Monopoly, Ode on Melancholy, Melancholy, Melancholy. That means sadness. We have Ode, Autogris, Ode to Autumn, Ode to Autumn. And then Greece, we have Ode to the Grecian urn. These Grecian, Grecian, Grecian? Give me a second, okay? Grecian, with one E, Grecian urn. These are actual odes. To the Evening Star and to the Nile are not odes. O-level teachers don't know this. You have to be an A-level teacher to know this. You have to be a real A-level literature teacher teaching O-level to know what real odes are. To the Evening Star is not a sonnet, by the way. Is not a sonnet, by the way. Please screenshot this. If you guys want to impress a few teachers at school, memorize these parts and let a rip. Let them know the knowledge you got through Javed's seminar. What are the 5 odes, by the way? It is Nightingale, Psycho, Monopoly, Autogris. That's how I memorize them. Psycho, Monopoly is like Psyche, Melancholy, Autumn, Grecian urn, and you can't forget Ode to a Nightingale. If you forget all of these, remember the Nightingale, right? We have a Nightingale in our syllabus in the Nightingale and the Rose. So if your teacher tells you that to the Nile or to the Evening Star are odes, no, tell them, and madam, Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats is completely different. How can this ode, a real ode, be completely different from To the Evening Star and To the Nile? To the Evening Star is not a sonnet because it does not have a rhyming scheme, because there is no rhyming scheme. A rhyme scheme. To the Evening Star cannot be a sonnet because there is no rhyme scheme. In order for a poem to be recognized as a sonnet, it must have a formal rhyming scheme. 14-line poem, formal rhyming scheme, baby. Right now, though, we are done with talking about these out-of-syllabus poems. Is there anything else that I missed? I have to talk about irony. I can talk about them like this. Within 5 minutes, I can talk about irony and we can wrap the class up. Proud that you guys stayed for 2 hours non-stop, right? No break in the middle. 2 hours like soldiers, right? Like bloody soldiers. Anything that we've missed? And by the way, here's the number that you guys have to contact if you want to join our classes, or if you guys want to send your appreciation, if you want to scold Javed sir, if you want to say that Javed sir talks a lot, or if you want to say that Javed sir is a really good teacher, you can send it to our admin. She will be very kind to you guys despite what you send her. And also, if you need some PDF notes, you can definitely go ahead and message our, you can message our admin. I didn't talk about personification. What is Lamestide? Lamestide is a celebration, Mariam. It is a celebration you find in European countries. It's like the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. It is a agricultural celebration. Could not talk about personification and anthropomorphism. Very sad. I wish I had more time. I can talk about them in the next seminar. Personification and anthropomorphism. You're right, Zaid. Lamestide is the European harvesting festival. Is wrong, ne? What is wrong, ne? Oh, no, girlfriend is wrong. Yeah, another literature teacher, right? I remember there was another lit teacher on YouTube who said that Lamestide is the name of his girlfriend. No, it's a harvesting festival, Lamestide. I mean, it's if you just Google Lamestide, you can get the answer, by the way. And again, you can really measure teachers by the English that they use. If a teacher uses broken English, run as far as you can, because that teacher is going to mess up your literature. Regardless, have to remind you guys about the ironies, okay? About the ironies. My last the very last bit of notes for today's session. Please screenshot this, by the way, really valuable. These are out of syllabus topics that somehow break into the syllabus, and the pupils are confused when they think about these. We have eulogies. Eulogies are when you praise someone who died, like Richard Corey. There are no elegies in our syllabus. Elegies are when you are lamenting the death of someone. And then we have odes. No, there are no odes in our syllabus. There is only one Petrarchan sonnet in our syllabus. How do we call this a Petrarchan sonnet? Why do we call it a Petrarchan sonnet? Because it has the rhyming scheme of a Petrarchan sonnet. Regardless, the three ironies are situational, dramatic, and verbal. Situational means what you expect. The opposite happens. The opposite happens. Here's a story about irony. Here is one of Javed Sir's ironic stories. Here is so what is situational irony? What you expect, the opposite happens. Sarcasm or verbal irony means what you say, you mean the opposite. What you say, you mean the opposite. Now, for example, in school, when you don't do your homework, your teacher tells you, very good, බොහොම හොඳයි, හොඳ අනාගතයක් තියෙනවා පුතාට. Very good, very nice, නල්ල පසඳ සරියා. In school, at home, your mama tells you, like, නල්ල පසඳ, right? When you don't work, when you don't go to the kitchen and help her, she's like, නල්ල පසඳ, right? It's verbal irony, verbal irony. So verbal irony is easy. We found the example for verbal irony in The Clown's Wife, right? War is kind and The Clown's Wife are good example for verbal irony. Nangis and Mallis, war is kind. And the last two lines of The Clown's Wife. And again, we have Smirnoff's misogynistic monologue. Smirnoff's sarcastic monologue, Smirnoff's sarcastic dialogues in The Bear. These are the examples for verbal irony, very clearly mentioned in our syllabus. Another example for verbal irony, when you don't do your homework and you go to school, your teacher said, very nice, very good. I am very proud of you. A sibling rivalry can't be a theme, Mariam. Farewell to Barn and Stack and Trees. Under the theme of conflict, they have explained the themes very clearly under our syllabus. The 5 themes are schooling, SCHLN, society, conflict, humor, life, and nature. Poetry can only have one of these 5 themes. A poem can only have one of these 5 themes. Regardless, you can't forget about situational irony. Here's something really cool. We'll end the class after this. Here's a story about situational irony. You are too sick. You are too sick to go to the doctor. You are too sick. Usually, when you are sick, you are expected to go to the doctor, right? You are expected to go to the doctor, aren't you, Nangis and Mallis? Our pupils who are logical will definitely go to the doctor. You are expected to visit the doctor. But you are too sick. To go to the doctor. Isn't that ironic? What you expect, the opposite is true. An ironic story. What you expect, the opposite is true. You are too sick. Any other techniques you guys want to learn, let me know, okay? We are completing, Rahma, the poem, The Earthen Goblet. We're completing The Earthen Goblet in the grade 11 class, Nangi. You are too sick to go to the doctor. Isn't that situational irony? When you are sick, you are expected to go to the doctor, but you are too sick to go to the doctor. Nevertheless, your mother carries you to the doctor. Your mom carries you to the doctor, But the doctor is absent due to sickness. The doctor is absent due to sickness. So that is an example for situational irony. You never expect the doctor to gets sick, right? The clown's wife is an example for verbal irony, Ruhaima. Verbal irony is found in the end of the clown's wife. Oh, life, our life, what would I do without this clown of a wife? You're right. The sad clown is an example for irony. Well done. Situational irony. The sad clown, absolutely, Ruhaima, well done. The sad clown in the clown's wife. You can screenshot this right now. In the clown's wife is a good example. The clown's wife is a good example for situational irony. You don't expect clowns to be sad, right? We have more examples like that, but look at the ironic story. Nevertheless, your mom carries you to the doctor, but the doctor is absent due to sickness. Finally, the doctor shows up. The doctor shows up and tries to kill you. And tries to kill you. Isn't that ironic? Doctors are supposed to save your life, right? And tries to kill you. Doctors are supposed to save your life, right? It's ironic. It's ironic. Situational irony. Situational irony because doctors are supposed to be lifesavers, supposed to be lifesavers, not murderers, right? The doctor tries to kill you. You and the doctor run around the hospital. You and the doctor run around the hospital. Hospital. And the doctor suddenly gets a heart attack. Suddenly gets a heart attack. The doctor suddenly gets a heart attack. That's ironic because doctors are supposed to be healthy, right? Ironic, situational irony, situational irony because doctors are supposed to be healthy. Doctors are supposed to be advocates of health, advocates of health. Isn't that ironic? The doctor gets a heart attack. You give the doctor CPR. You give the doctor CPR and save his life. Ironic, the patient saves the doctor's life. Ironic, the patient saved the doctor's life. The doctor's life. Isn't that ironic? The doctor wakes up and stabs you in the heart. That's the end of the story. Tragic story, isn't it? Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? It's ironic because we don't expect any of these things to happen, right? What you expect if the opposite thing happens, it is situational irony. The opposite of what happens that you expect is situational irony. You are too sick that you don't want to go to the doctor. Your mother carries you to the doctor is absent due to sickness. The doctor finally arrives and the doctor tries to kill you and you run around the hospital and the doctor gets a heart attack. The doctor falls over and you give the doctor CPR and you try to save the doctor's life and you save his life. He wakes up, stabs you with a scalpel. You're dead. That is situational irony. You save the doctor's life. However, the doctor did not. The doctor ended up murdering you. What kind of narration is the bear? The bear doesn't have a kind of narration, Minha. First-person narration and third-person narration can only be taken when there is no dialogue. When there is dialogue, there is no narration. It is a real-time narration. Can you understand that, Minna? The vendor of sweets is a third-person narration. The narrator is not a character. What is it? Bringing Tony home is a first-person narration because the narrator is a character. The bear is automatically a first-person narration because all of the characters are the narrators. Do you understand? So it cannot be given a person. Usually, poems and stories are given a person, first person or third person. If the narrator is a character, it is called a first person narration. If the narrator is not a character, it's called a third person narration. Screenshot this ironic story. There are more examples for irony. Usually when you are sick, you are expected to visit the doctor, but you are too sick that you don't go, that you don't want to go, that you don't want to go. Sick that you don't want to go to the doctor. Nevertheless, your mom carries you to the doctor, but the doctor is absent due to sickness. We don't expect the doctor to be sick ever, right? Finally, the doctor shows up and tries to kill you. You and the doctor run around the hospital, and the doctor suddenly gets a heart attack. Situational irony, doctors are advocates of health. You give the doctor CPR and save his life. The doctor wakes up, stabs you in the heart. Ironic story this is. What you expect, the opposite happened over and over again, right? Sadly, we can't talk about paradoxes and oxymorons today. We will definitely talk about oxymorons and paradoxes in the future because we are out of time. But here are examples for situational irony. A sad clown is a good example for situational irony, especially in The Clown's Wife. A mad scientist is a good example for situational irony. We don't expect scientists to be mad. Hypocrisy is a good example for situational irony. We'll talk about hypocrisy in the future. But remember, Jagan in the vendor of sweets, Jagan in the vendor of sweets, is a hypocrite, is a hypocrite. Why is he a hypocrite? He hypocrite. He sells sweets, but he does not eat sugar. He does not eat sugar. That is why Jagan is a hypocrite in the vendor of sweets. Can you believe that? Regardless, we also have Popova in the vendor of sweets. She is a hypocrite. We'll talk about these in the future, okay? However, we talked about verbal irony, and dramatic irony is kind of difficult to explain now, but I promise you in the future, if you join Javed Sir's classes, you can learn all of these techniques very easily because we will be learning these techniques repetitively. We'll be learning them over and over again. And if you want to join Javed Sir's classes, or if you want some free tutorials, a free PDF tutorials, you guys can message our admin through isaac.com. It is always an honor, always a pleasure to be called your teacher. Sadly, we've got to end our session now. I'll see you guys in the next session, or I'll see you guys next week in isaac.com. As Javed Sir's pupils, you can tell your friends that you have found the best literature teacher in Sri Lanka who actually has the knowledge that you need to get a sweet, sweet A. Until then, take care and all the best.